Chapter 10. The Prince's Promise. Elam and Hannah spoke while they danced, and she almost forgot everything else. His words kept her talking about her childhood, and his skill in leading the dance kept her happy. When the dance was over, he took her along everywhere he went in the ballroom. For all who cared to ask, he introduced her as the person who saved him from assassination years ago. One of the people who followed Elam to the party came and whispered in his ear. He frowned. "What is wrong?" Hannah asked. "I just got word that we have issues at the border. I have to go quickly. I may have to journey through the night to get there. It might take a few days," he replied. Her eyes went sullen. Elam took her hands. "Do not be sad. I promise that I will be back. I will come for you." Hannah's face lit up. Before Elam left that day, he gave her many valuable gifts. The ball had ended now, and Hannah was back home. She was not in her bed, she was not in her room. She was standing in front of her aunt, her uncle, and Riley. Mabel had a cup of tea in front of her and inhaled deeply before she took a sip. It almost seemed like time had stopped, because no one said anything for a while. Hannah kept twisting her fingers and sweating. The weather was not hot, but she kept sweating. She was still in the dress and jewelry that Elam had given her. Riley smiled with one side of her mouth. Then she rose to her feet and brought out a pair of scissors from her pocket. She hurried over to Hannah. Hannah took a few steps backward, but Riley was faster. Riley grabbed Hannah's shoulders and pinned her to the spot. Hannah had not had good food for a long time and did not have enough strength to resist. Riley raised her voice and said, "Butler June, come in here." June was a tall man with a wide chest and muscles. Hannah had not seen him before. After all, ever since her family struck diamonds, Hannah had been locked in her room. The man grabbed Hannah and Riley let go. He was strong, and even his grip hurt Hannah's flesh. Riley sighed, even as she raised the scissors. "I want to remind you that you are a nobody, and you should never think of being with the prince." With that, Riley used the scissors to cut into the dress. Chapter 11. The Breaking Point. Hannah tried to move away, but it was difficult. Butler June was so strong. "No, let go of me, do not rip my dress." Riley slapped her harshly across the face, and she went numb for a moment. "The prince gave it to you? Only God knows how you seduced him," Riley roared. Hannah looked down at her dress. "You have ruined it." Tears pooled in her eyes and poured down. This was the first good gift she had been given since her parents died. She wanted to touch the dress, but Riley pulled at her hair and raised her face to meet hers. "That is enough," Mabel's voice broke the stalemate. Riley did not move. "You listen to me, child," Mabel said again. Riley finally let go. "Bring me the scissors," Mabel ordered, and Riley did as she was told. Mabel took the scissors from her daughter and rose to her feet. "I used to think you were timid and would never dare to cross us, but you did surprise me today. You showed me your scheming side. Of all the days to come out in public, you chose to embarrass us at our first social ball." Mabel walked closer to Hannah, and Hannah shuddered more. "I did not burst into the ball on purpose. I am speaking the truth," Hannah voiced. Mabel laughed as if she had heard a joke. "Oh, really? Then you can prove your loyalty to all of us." Now, Mabel was standing very close to Hannah. "Take these scissors and rip your dress." Mabel held the scissors out to Hannah. Hannah took them with shaky hands. "Now rip your dress," Mabel encouraged fiercely. Hannah looked at the scissors and then at her aunt's face. Then she looked at the scissors again. Her aunt declared, "If you do not do it yourself, then you are proving to us that you are an ingrate and you want to go against your own family. We have raised you for years. You owe us your loyalty. If you are not loyal to us for all we have done for you since your parents died, that means you are a bad person." Hannah gripped the scissors tighter and bent as if she wanted to rip the dress, but like a strike of lightning, she dug the scissors into June's skin. He yelled in pain, and Hannah saw that as her chance. No one was holding her now. She could run. Chapter 12. The Flight. He did not see it coming, and no one else did either. When Hannah pushed the scissors into June's skin, he screamed like a mad dog. His grip on Hannah immediately loosened, and she pushed him away with one hand. While also pushing Mabel down, knowing that Mabel might try to catch her, she acted with the little strength she had and escaped. Mabel fell to the floor with a thud, her eyes widening. June was yelling in pain, but that was no one's concern. Marvin and Riley were on their feet now, eyes wide and yelling for any staff in the house to catch the fleeing Hannah. Hannah ran as fast as her legs could carry her. Her plan was to escape first, then find a way to get in contact with the prince again. With the way things were at the moment, she could not wait for him to come get her. That might be too late. Fortunately, she managed to run out the door and sped straight for the gate. She got out and heard the thundering feet coming behind her. She knew she had to move faster. The pain she had been feeling for a few days resurfaced. Her belly turned and her legs went weak. Her steps slowed, and soon the people pursuing her were closer. In a moment, she felt a pan bang against her head. The pain added to what she was already feeling. She went to her knees and closed her eyes. The people around her hurried to hold her firmly. One brought out a rope to tie her hands securely. Hannah's eyes shut from the intensity of the pain. Chapter 13. The Diamond Curse. Hannah opened her eyes slowly. She heard someone say, "The fool is awake." The voice sounded like Riley's. Hannah's eyes opened wide now, and she took in everything around her. She was still in the living room, but she was tied to a chair. Hannah tried to move her hands, but the ropes stopped her. She sighed. "I feel terrible. I have felt this way for days. I asked for a doctor, but you refused to let me see one." Mabel rose to her feet. "You asked for a doctor, and I did not send you one because I knew why you felt sick. You had thoughts of disobeying us. You had thoughts of showing yourself to the prince. I do not know how you started to dream this big, but it ends today." Mabel walked towards her as she spoke. Now Mabel was very close. Mabel clapped her hands, and a servant rushed in with pots of dead flowers. Hannah's eyes widened upon seeing the people dropping pots around her. The pots were stacked high. "You cannot do this to me one last time. This is the reason for my sickness. I am sure of it the last time I touched one." Mabel sent a slap straight to Hannah's cheek. Hannah's mouth closed. Mabel did not want the servants knowing what all this flower pot business was really about. She brought out a handkerchief from her pocket and stuffed it into Hannah's mouth. Marvin was seated, but got up. "All the servants should leave this building now. Go and clean up the place where we had the ball. Only June should stay." All the servants filed out neatly. Hannah was struggling in her seat again, but it was no use. She did not want to touch any flower pots. Hannah had noticed that the act seemed to drain her. While doing it yesterday, she developed a headache, then a bellyache. Her body also grew weaker. It seemed Mabel knew what Hannah was thinking. She said, "I do not care if this act drains you or not. You will make diamonds for this family." Then she said to June, "Bring a pot and place it behind Hannah's hand. Make sure her hands touch it." Hannah wanted to protest, but all that could be heard were moans. One after the other, Hannah was made to touch the flower pots. The pots glowed and shone. Diamond flowers budded and bloomed, and with each touch, Hannah became weaker. Hannah began sweating, then she began to pant. She rolled her eyes and fainted. "Riley, give me that cup of tea now," Mabel ordered. Riley came over with the cup, and Mabel splashed the tea on Hannah's face. Hannah's eyes burst open. Riley teased, "No time for sleep, my dear cousin. You have more diamonds to give us." Chapter 14. The Breaking Point. Hannah touched more flower pots, and Riley noticed something. Riley spoke, "Look, Mother, Hannah is shrinking." Mabel smiled. "It seems the ability is causing her a lot of hurt, but it is fine. Finally, she is being useful to this family." Riley tugged at her mother's clothes. "What if she dies, Mother?" Mabel smirked. "That is enough sacrifice for all we have done for her. Also, we will take all the inheritance her parents left for her." Hannah's eyes turned red even as her body became weak and deflated like a balloon. Marvin came closer and placed a hand around Mabel's shoulder. "Should we tell her what we know? We have kept it for so long, but now that she is about to die? Is there any point hiding it?" Mabel nodded her head. I get your hint. Then she sighed. Hannah, your parents left some wealth for you, and it would be yours when you reach the age of 24. We were worried you would snatch it and run away, but we decided to marry you off to our son, or anyone we could control. But with the way you are looking now, honey, you will not even make it until dawn. Elam sat in his car while the driver drove, but he immediately placed a hand on his chest as if something stung him. What is it? One of the men seated with him asked. Should we call the doctor? Elam clicked his teeth. I do not know. I just feel that something is not right. Mabel laughed, and so did Marvin and Riley. Teardrops poured down Hannah's cheeks, and her face went red with anger. She wanted to say something, and the fact that she was unable to made her feel more pain. Riley tapped Hannah's face, and it broke like clay. Riley was startled and stepped backward, but she quickly gained her composure. She forced a laugh. Seems you are about to die. Do not worry, we will do well to use your properties and the inheritance your parents left behind. I will also make sure that I comfort Prince Elam until he comes to love me and makes me his princess. June kept putting flower pots out until he said, Bosses, there is no more power in the girl for her to turn stuff into diamonds. Mabel sighed, looking at the pile they already had. This and the others we have kept will make us rich for centuries. June, drag Hannah and her chair to the backyard, lock her in the storehouse and set it ablaze. I do not want the whole house getting defiled by her decaying body.